Hi folks, we're just about to set off on a little micro prehistoric adventure. Except Maud's coming on this one.
Hooray!
So it's going to be Lord and Maud. And where are we off to?
The Medway Megaliths in Kent.
Ever heard of them? Well, today hopefully you're going to find out a little bit more about them. So front or back, Maud?
Well, obviously on the back.
Right.
Unless you want to die.
Helmet or no helmet?
Definitely helmet.
You don't have to wear a helmet on one of these.
I think I will.
Alright then. Well, yeah. You get your helmet on, I'll fire her up, and we'll hit the road.
Awesome.
See you in Kent. So where should we head first then, Maud?
I think we should go to Kits Coty, which is just a bit further down the hill.
Okay, let's be going there.
Let's go.
That's rather a nice little passage, isn't it, Maud?
It's quite magical, I think. It's part of the Pilgrims Way.
Do you want to walk ahead and then we can all have a look at your Venus bottom?
If I'm up.
Filthy, ragged Victorian. With a big sweeping posterior.
Well, let's come this way. We found Kits Coty House.
Oh wow. Look at that. That's beautiful.
Shame it's behind railings, really.
Maybe.
Still beautiful.
So what have we got here then, Maud? What do you know about this?
So this is Kits Coty House. It's a early Neolithic. This is the remains of a long barrow, a chambered long barrow, part of the Medway Megaliths. It's just the three upstanding orthostat stones, which are made of sarsen, and a capstone.
Why do they call them orthostats?
I'm not entirely sure, but I will find out. So folklore has it that three witches put the upright stones in, and then a fourth helped them to put the capstone on. And I know that a lot of local druidry celebrations take place here, so it's quite important within that faith.
Not much I can add to that then, is there? It's how fantastic is that? Maud, what are you doing? Foraging for what?
There are so many sloes on this hedge. Look at it. Bountiful. Sloes and hawthorns.
Ah.
We should have brought a basket on the tray.
So where to now then?
Back down the hill, back down the Pilgrims Way to Little Kits Coty.
Awesome, let's go and have a look at it.
Let's go.
You disgust me, you dirty, filthy, ragged Victorian.
That's why you love me.
Megalith. So the second megalith we're visiting is Little Kits Coty. So let me show you what we've got. So what we have is a group of sarsen stones here. Apparently these are the largest ones on the Kent Medway, and rumour has it they're uncountable. I've just had a little walk round and I counted 19. What about yourself there, Maud?
18.
18. All right.
And I've just done that twice.
You've just done that twice.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it then, there's 18. What'd you get a sense of round here? Anything?
No, but it's too noisy, really.
I think it's just a nice day.
Wait until we go to Cauldron, that's special.
Come on, Maud. So where are we?
We are heading towards the Coffin Stone and we're in the middle of a vineyard. So that we're surrounded by vines and grapes, but I don't think they're quite ready. So we're walking along the Pilgrims Way again.
They're quite pretty, aren't they?
They are lovely.
Would you say we're looking for a coffin stone?
Coffin Stone. Quite fitting, really.
Getting worried.
Only I could bring you to the Coffin Stone.
British wine, look, Maud.
We like a little wine.
You know it's supposed to be overcast today.
Yeah. They got it wrong again. Stunning day.
It really is beautiful. So this is the largest sarsen they found in Medway, correct?
Well, I think if this was part of a chambered long barrow, that it would have been the biggest because it's based on the size of the sarsen. But is it a stone that is a natural feature? Is it a stone that was moved? Or was it part of a long barrow? Nobody knows. So the Coffin Stone is the lower one.
Right.
And this one was placed on by a farmer in about 2017, I think. So the Coffin Stone is the big one at the bottom.
Well, maybe that farmer knew something about it. He wanted to keep the damn thing down.
Maybe. But you can see it goes all the way down to this. I think it's about 14'6" long. And about 8 foot wide and about 2 foot thick. Pretty hefty.
They found some human remains under it, correct?
Correct.
Under it?
On this site.
On this site?
On this site. So, but there's still not sufficient evidence to say that there definitely was a long barrow here. Yeah, there are some smaller stones about 300 metres from here, but that could have been just stuff that's been washed down the hill. So, not sure, not sufficient evidence.
Right. So where do you want to go next?
White Horse Stone.
The White Horse Stone.
Yeah, and that's near
Okay.
Smythe's Megalith, which you can't see anymore, but we know it's there.
Well, I'm going to start a brand new rumour. Underneath there,
Yep.
they buried a giant.
Never let the truth stand in the way of a good rumour.
What are you thinking?
You had a bit of hair up.
Did I?
You're like Mr. Majika.
So we're heading down this track to see the White Horse Stone.
Oh, we are.
Why'd they call it the White Horse Stone?
I'm not sure why they call it the White Horse Stone, but the white horse is an emblem of Kent. Don't forget the white Pegasus, the winged horse.
Is it?
Yes, the Kent Invictor.
We're doing well so far, Maud. We've located everything we've come to find.
We have, but I tell you what, I'm a Norfolk girl. I'm not used to all these hills.
Well, that doesn't look like a horse at all, does it? And there was a pair of these, right?
Yes, yeah, and the
So where's the other one gone?
well, it was destroyed in 1834 and probably lies under the A229.
Oh.
But again, there's no sufficient evidence that this was part of a chambered long barrow, but it's a huge bit of stone.
I love all these cavities, don't you? So just lying to the east of us used to be a collection of stones called Smythe's Megaliths, and they were destroyed in the early 1900s But and there was remains of a couple of individuals found there, but it's all but gone now. Anyway, this is a lovely little woodland glade spot, all said and done there.
This area was quite popular for Odinistic rituals in recent times, apparently. I'm not sure if they're still meeting here, but it's still a nice little spot.
Well, Odin used to get about on an 8-legged steed.
You get about on a 3-legged steed.
I do indeed. So you're back to one of your favourite places then, Maud?
Absolutely. One of my most favourite places in the world. This is Cauldron.
When we got here there was a couple of ladies and they were laying there sunbathing, which you can't blame them for doing in a glorious day. And they sat up, gave us a smile and invited us to drum. So here we go. Let me show you the ladies drumming. So one of the ladies has gone off now and Maud is just sitting over there chatting away. And to be fair, looks like they've been sitting there and known each other all their lives. And I reckon that's got something to do with the spectacular environment. A place like this. You may incidentally wish to come and have a look inside the chamber. Surrounding the whole place, what you've got is these individual slabs. Which all by themselves, they're lovely to see. But on this particular one just here, this point here, look, this is perfectly smooth and bevel shaped, and they've actually been grinding axes on that. It's known as a polissoir. So that shape has been sitting there after them grinding for the last 4,000 years. Oh, a little bit of climbing. And we're now entering inside. I think this whole thing would have been underground. Somehow you would have needed to go underneath there, but well, I hope you enjoyed today's adventure with Lord and Maud. We certainly had fun, haven't we?
We've had a great time.
Cheers, guys.
See you later.